I decided that I was done coloring my hair. I didn't feel that it was holding the color that great. I was tired of the time and expense every 6 weeks to touch up the roots and having to plan around social events because I wanted my hair to look good. I talked to my colorist about the transition and we came up with a plan. It was tricky because that first year I had 3 weddings in the summer and I wanted to look good for them. So the first thing we did was to bleach my hair to a blonde shade that closely matched my incoming gray, being careful to stay away from the existing root growth. We did this so that the line of demarcation was not so severe, and I wore my hair kind of as a brown with blonde highlights, so it made sense to go this route. It probably wouldn't make sense if you had very dark hair. On my next visit, we decided to add a few lowlights in a darker shade using a temporary dye that would supposedly gradually wash out over the next 2 months or so. However, it took much longer and I really regretted ever doing that part. It wasn't necessary. At the end of the 1-year mark, most of the old color had grown out and it would be snipped away in my next haircut. But alas, enter COVID-19 and the pandemic shut down. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Melissa. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to talk about my transition to my natural hair color. It's been a wild ride, but I don't regret it. So in today's video, I'm going to address some common questions that I get about my hair, talk about how I style it, show you some products that I love, give you a few tips for if you were heading down this journey and you're just starting out, some tips and tricks that maybe would work for you, and some product recommendations. So let's start off with how I style my hair. I took some footage of me actually blow drying my hair today. I'm going to insert that here. Just note, I don't spend a lot of time styling my hair. This style works well with my hair type and texture, and it only takes me really about 10 minutes to blow dry and to style it. You see a lot of people in blogs, they talk about, oh, don't use a terry cloth towel, use a t-shirt, it's better for your hair. Actually, I think that's ridiculous. You can use a terry cloth towel, just don't scrub like to think you're drying it with the towel. So you want to just be very gentle. Take your towel off, and then I always use a wide tooth comb to comb out my hair. I don't use a brush. Either one of these will work. This is my current favorite, and there's probably a little hair in there. This is my current favorite, but something shaped like this, a little bit more of a traditional wide tooth comb, will also work. And if I can find this, I'm pretty sure I picked this up at Sally's, and it may be like marketed towards women of color because it feels almost like a pick, but I love it for just a really gentle combing out my hair and getting and like detangling. I've been testing out some products from Hair Biology. It's like a drugstore brand. I can get it in Target, and this is the like a spray-on thickener that you can put on after you wash your hair. So this is the thickening treatment, instantly thickens for fuller looking hair. I'm going to just spray a little bit like along my roots and work it all in. I always get a lot of questions about my hair, how I style it. So this is going to be a quick, like, speeded up version of how I dry my hair. So, oh, this is very full of hair. One moment, please. All right. Trust me when I say this was way worse than before I cleaned it. I like hairbrushes that have this little metal cylinder because it feels like it helps give a little bit more curl when you're drying. And I would say this is like 1.5 inches width. I would like one a little bit smaller, and I am looking. I did pick this one up when I was traveling. It's way too small. My hair gets tangled in it. It's really meant for much shorter hair. So I'll probably be on the lookout for a brush that's a little bit smaller so I can get a little bit more oomph and curl up here. Okay, let's get to drying. So the strategy here is first off to kind of overall give it a good dry, like an overall dry, so it's mostly just damp. And then I will begin styling with this. Once I'm done drying my hair, I just kind of like fluff and style it using hairspray. And right now this is the Nexus Comb Through a Finishing Mist. It's a medium hold. I picked a 2-pack of this up at Costco, and it's not as good as my L'Oreal, but pretty good. It was a good buy. So I do use a lot of hairspray, so beware. Stand back. So basically what I like to do is fluff it and spray it. And lately I've been even lifting it up a little bit to give it a little bit more volume. Makes it a little messy, which I like. Sometimes I scrunch it a little bit while the hairspray is drying. I like not such a perfect hairdo. So I like to start with big hair. It tends to fall as the day goes on. You'll probably see that because when I come back later and record more of this video, it will have fallen a little bit. So this is what I do. Just, you know. And then once I feel like I have it kind of styled the way I like it, I do what my old hairdresser, Tian, used to call go around the world. Like, I just go like, give it an all over spray. Oh yeah. And then, you know, I usually like tuck it behind my ears a little bit because I like the way that looks. Yeah. That's what it takes. And honestly, it takes me about 10 minutes to style my hair. I don't spend a ton of time on it. I don't use a curling iron. I don't use any hot tools. I use very little product, and that's what makes me the happiest. So, shall I do a little spin? You'll also probably notice I don't do a lot, pay attention to that much in the back. I scrunch it a little bit while I'm drying it, and it's kind of on its own. So one of the things I noticed when I stopped coloring my hair is it didn't have as much body as it used to. And I remember when I first started coloring my hair, the colorist told me, you're gonna love it. It really gives your hair a lot of body and it makes it feel fuller. And indeed it does. And I kind of had forgotten about it. I've been coloring my hair for years and years, and as it grew out, I realized I was having a little bit of trouble keeping the lift and the volume in my hair that I was used to. When I go through some of my product recommendations, I'll share with you some hair care products that I've been using that I think do a really good job adding some more volume to your hair and thickening it up. Another thing you really have to be mindful of and when you have transitioned to gray hair or white hair or silver hair, whatever you want to call it, that some heated styling tools can make the ends of your hair turn like yellow. It discolors them a little bit. There's something about that interaction and the way your natural hair is. It can do that. So I never really ever used any hot tools on my hair, but that's something to be mindful of if you do use hot tools on your hair, to maybe use them sparingly or use them at a lower heat. So you may find a lot of people recommend using like a purple shampoo or a blue shampoo. They're virtually interchangeable. I think you want to use purple if you have like blonde-ish hair, and you want to use blue if you have brunette-ish hair. And that's really the main difference, but actually if you have grayish hair, you could use either one, in my opinion. However, I'm not a big fan of purple shampoo. I thought it was great as I was growing my hair out. It helped with the ends that were maybe getting a little brassy because they still had the old color in it, and it would help keep that bright and helped kind of blend a little bit, if you will, between the new hair and the old hair. But once all of my old hair was out, I didn't really care for the way it changed the shade of my hair. It made my hair look more gray. For lack of a better term, I think, it is a color depositing shampoo, and for me, I felt like it made my hair darker, and I really wanted it to be more white. I like the whiteness in my hair. So it is, kind of a personal preference, and it will probably depend on how much gray or white hair you end up revealing as you grow out. But it is certainly something you should, experiment with. But I don't have any real good recommendations there because I didn't use that much of it. I used it initially, and it helped initially, and then I was like, I'm done with this. So instead of using a purple shampoo, what I ended up using was a clarifying shampoo. And I felt like that gave me the best brightness in my hair. It took all like the water deposits. If you have hard water that can kind of leave like mineral deposits in your hair, it takes that away. It removes all the old product that you may have in your hair that could be weighing it down or could be, slightly changing the way it looks. A classic one is this Neutrogena clarifying shampoo that you can get at the drugstore, but I've used a bunch of different ones, and that's how I like to keep my hair really like bright and shiny and really make that like white hair sparkle. Also, one of the things I noticed as I went through like year 2, because now I'm 2 years fully grown out, about halfway through my second year of growing out my hair, I noticed that the hair right here in the middle of my forehead area was coming in darker. And I was stunned by that. So I actually have like a little bit of a dark patch right here in the front. Now, would I prefer to be all like kind of the rest of my hair? Yeah, I would, but it isn't. And so that's just the way it is. And I think what happens, and I don't really have any proof of this, but this is just anecdotal research that I've from reading blogs and reading what other people's experiences have been. I think once you stop using all those chemicals in your hair, you do experience a little bit of like a regrowth of hair, and the hair kind of is like not so distressed, and really it changes a little bit. So for me, that's how that manifested. I ended up with this little bit of a darker spot right in the center of, my hairline in the front. And so today it's not super noticeable, but some days it is way more noticeable. It just, I think it depends on how the hair falls or how I parted it that day, whatever. So it is just, it's a whole thing. So I've already shared with you a couple little tips, about using the blue shampoo or purple shampoo early on in your journey, and using a clarifying shampoo to help keep some of the yellowness out and keep it bright and shiny. But I do want to also share this L'Oreal Magic Root Cover-Up. This is such a great option when you're first starting out. and you're like really nervous about it, and you're like, oh, it looks like you've neglected your hair appointment. It doesn't look deliberate enough for people to think, oh, she's growing her hair out. It looks like, oh, she needs to make an appointment to get her roots touched up. And this could be a lifesaver to help you first like 3 months, maybe 4 months, it depends on how fast your hair grows, or when you have like a special occasion you want to go to and you want to just blend it a little bit. This stuff works great, and for the most part I feel like it is pretty waterproof. However, I do want to know what Rudy Giuliani was using on his hair that day, and it was running in rivers down his face, because I would stay away from that. He clearly had something on his hair to cover up the gray, and whoo, baby, that was a hot mess. I have never experienced anything like that, but I think women's hair is not so close to their head, so it's not going to get wet and sweaty like maybe his was. I don't know. I feel so sorry for that poor man. He is like a meme all over the internet. So when I said earlier I really regretted using like a semi-permanent or temporary hair dye to do to put some lowlights in, I wish I had never done that and just really had done this to get through that wedding season. But by the time it was done, it was done. It did not wash out nearly as quickly as I was told it would. I felt like it lingered for a really long time. It was definitely not as dark as when it was first put on, but as time went on, I felt like it was still there. And for a while there, I used to call myself Calico, because I felt like I had so many different colors in my hair. I had the gray, which was not all gray, it was mixed with other colors. And then I had what was growing out, and then I had the bleached part, and then I had the lowlights, and it was just like, how many colors can this woman have in her hair? But because of the style I wear my hair, also I was able to disguise some of my root growth for a pretty long time, because I do wear it kind of pushed up and a little boofy, as my husband calls it, boofy, and I think it does help, kind of disguise some of those grays. But I, was always wondering, like, what's going on back here? Do I have a big gray patch hanging out? I was always very worried about that, because you see women walking down the street, they're like in their 70s or 80s. They think they're looking good, and they have so much grow out that show it in the back. I'm like, oh girl, you poor thing. Either go get it colored or just let it grow out. Okay, let's talk about products. So I've already mentioned the root cover-up. I've mentioned a clarifying shampoo. It doesn't have to be this exact one, but this is a really good one, and it's really accessible. You can probably buy it in your grocery store or any CVS or drugstore, so it's really accessible. But there are other good ones. A lot of brands offer a clarifying shampoo, and they are great. I just wouldn't use them every time, because they can be a little stripping, but they're great for just like cleaning that gunk out. So I recently tried a sample from Way. I think that's how you say it. It's O-U-I-A, Way. It's a brand that Sephora carries, and it was like a little packet, and it was, their volumizing shampoo and conditioner, and it was pretty terrific. So that's something I'm going to add to my Sephora shopping list, to order a full size of that once they have their sale, so I can get it on sale, because let's face it, it is a little pricey. Generally, I like to kind of stick to drugstore brands for my hair care, because it's hair care, I don't think you need to spend that much on your hair. But I thought it was pretty terrific, so I do want to give it another go, just to be certain. So what I've been using lately is a brand that's available at Target, and I don't know where else. I'll have to see where else you can buy it, but I find it at my local Target. It's from Hair Biology. It's the Full and Vibrant Volumizing Shampoo and Conditioner. How pretty are those bottles, by the way? So pretty. And these do a really nice job of adding some volume to my hair. And I like these so much that I did decide to try a couple other products from Hair Biology. One I showed you I was using before I blew my hair dry today. It's their thickening treatment that you spray in before you dry your hair to give you a little extra lift and volume. Wow. That was loud. And I'm currently trying out their multitasking hairspray. So there's something about this product that I just think is so kind of weird. It has great hold. I don't have any problem with that. But I feel like when you spray hairspray, it goes psh. This one goes, it has like an after noise. I don't even know how to explain this. I don't know if my camera's going to pick this up. But here's the Nexus that I used today. Yeah, that's normal, right? This is this spray. It almost sounds like it has like, and I can see it on here, like a little like bubbling up afterwards as it dries. It's very bizarre, and it kind of freaks me out a little bit, but it does have a nice strong hold. The jury's still out on this. One of the things I really like about these is they have no fragrance. And if you are someone who enjoys wearing perfume, that is a good thing, because it's not competing with your perfume or your scent, and it is just neutral. So I think for me, and the length and the style of my hair, it took me just about a year to grow my hair out. I think if you wear a longer style that's not so layered, it's going to take you longer. Or you can cut it short. I know a lot of people who go like pixie root. That's not for me. But I think it's really what you're most comfortable with. I've seen women on the Facebook pages that they have long hair, they don't want to lose their long hair, they love it, and they just let it grow, and, it doesn't bother them. And there are others that, they do everything from the shortest of short, I've even seen people shave their head, yikes, to, doing nothing. I would like to know if you use any kind of a thickening hair product like shampoo and conditioner, and do you have a recommendation for me? I looked on the Sephora website, and Bumble & Bumble looks like they have a decent one, but I am also going to do more research and see what other drugstore varieties are out there. And if you're one of my regular viewers, I am using this palette on my face today as part of my Project Pan project, and I used these two. Let me flip this little thing back. Because of what I was wearing, I thought these two, this little like duo, would be great. This is Instaglam and like stupid autocorrect. And this is what I have on my face. I think it's really pretty. I'm having so much fun playing with this palette because there's so much variety. However, it's super shiny. Like, it's really shiny. Satins and glitters. I don't think there's hardly a matte in here. Anyone out there still have this and is using it? I'm just curious. Let me know. Thank you for joining me today. I upload videos every Saturday morning, and I'll include a link to last week's video right up here. And over here, I will put another video that I think you might be interested in watching. Thank you so much, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.